John chapter 21, Epilogue. Jesus appears to 7 of his disciples. Later, Jesus appeared again to his disciples beside the Sea of Galilee. This is how it happened. Several of his disciples were there. Simon Peter, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, Nathanael from Canaan in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 other disciples. Simon Peter said, "I'm going fishing." "We'll come too," they all said. So they went out in a boat, but they caught nothing all night. At dawn, Jesus was standing on the beach, but his disciples couldn't see who he was. He called out, "Fellows, have you caught any fish?" "No," they replied. Then he said, "Throw out your net on the right-hand side of the boat, and you'll get some." So they did, and they couldn't haul in the net because there were so many fish in it. Then the disciple Jesus loved said to Peter, "It's the Lord." When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put down his tunic, for he had striped for work, jumped in the water and headed to shore. And the others stayed in the boat and pulled the load net to the shore, for they were only about hundreds of yards from the shore. When they all got there, they found a breakfast waiting for them. Fish cooking over a charcoal fire and some bread. "Bring me some fish of you that just caught," Jesus said. So Simon Peter went aboard and dragged the net ashore. There were 153 large fish in the net. The net hadn't torn. "Now, come and have some breakfast," Jesus said. None of his disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord. Then Jesus served them the bread and the fish. The third time Jesus had appeared to his disciples since he had been raised from the dead. After breakfast, Jesus asked Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," Peter replied. "You know I love you." "Then feed my lambs," Jesus told him. Jesus repeated the question. "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" "Yes, Lord," Jesus said. "You know I love you, and take care of my sheep," Jesus said. A third time, he asked him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt that Jesus asked him the question the third time. He said, "Yes, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Then feed my sheep." I tell you the truth, when you were young, you were able to do as you liked. You dressed yourself, and whenever you wanted to go, but your you were old, you will stretch out your hand, and others will dress you and take you where you do not want to go. Jesus said, this to let him know by what kind of death he would fall. Glory God. Then Jesus told him, follow me. Peter turned around, and saw behind the disciple Jesus loved, the one who had learned over during the supper. Then asked the Lord, who will betray you? Peter asked, what about him, Lord? Jesus replied, if I want to remain alive until I return, that is what I told you. As for you, follow me. So the rumor spread among the community of the believers, and the disciples wouldn't die but that isn't what Jesus said at all. He only said, if I want to remain alive until I return, that is what I told you. This disciple is the one who testifies to these events and has recorded them here. And we know that his account of these things is according. Jesus also did many other things. If they were all written down, I suppose the whole world could not contain the books that would be written.